Hi everybody, this is Jen Duggar. I'm the director of the Disability Resource Center here at Portland State University. I am going to talk to you a little bit about how students go about registering with the DRC and what you can expect after that's happened. If you're interested in more of an overview, there's also an introduction video that you should watch. So registering with the DRC is pretty easy, though it may take the students some time to get into our office as we tend to be pretty busy at the very beginning of every term. Students will request specific accommodations from our office, and almost always they'll have to present us with some kind of documentation. So this might be something from their doctor or their therapist, someone who's been treating or seeing them, who can attest to what's been going on for them in their life and really back up the story that they share with us when they come talk to us. We then review that documentation, we talk to that student, of course, about their requests, and then based on what we know of all of that and of the environment that they're in here at PSU, we can determine reasonable accommodations for each of those different needs that they have. So once we have made that determination of accommodations, they get a list of eligibility that shows up in an online profile that they have access to through our office. And they can then go in and select specific accommodations from that list that they want to use in your course. And they'll do that for every course that they're registered for this term and in the future. So it really gives them a lot of power to be able to tell each faculty member what they want to tell. So if they have 3 courses and they don't want let's say they have a yoga class and they don't want their yoga instructor to know that they're registered, they just won't select any accommodations for that course. And then they can select as many accommodations or as few that they want in each of their other courses, and the instructor only finds out what they need to know. So then the letter is emailed to each instructor of record. So if you're a TA or if you're not the instructor of record, you're not going to be getting that letter from our office. So it's really important that you and that person are in good communication with each other. This is a very tiny version of the accommodation letter that you may be familiar with receiving. This one is for our very favorite fake student, Victoria Viking. So at the top you see her name along with her student ID number, and then the term and the course name, along with a few paragraphs of pretty general information that show up on every letter. So this tells you a little bit about what you're receiving, why you're receiving it, and what you can do with it next. One of the things that you should know is that if you have any questions about any of the accommodations that are listed in the letter, you should just pick up the phone or send us an email at the DRC, because we want to help you before any concerns or questions pop up during the term. We also know that sometimes those accommodations that are in the list of eligibility don't apply to a specific course, and we may not have foreseen that when we first met with the student. So to get your call or your email and be able to talk to you about your concerns can sometimes help us to learn that actually that accommodation isn't appropriate for your class. But we need to be involved in making that decision with you, and you cannot make that decision on your own. So really, we need you to call us if you have any concerns at all. So the accommodations are listed below the general information, and you may see one or you may see many. And with that, the accommodation, each one should have some clarifying information, whether it's just a sentence or whether it's a hyperlink to more information on our website. Do know that students can register with the DRC at any time during the term. As I said during the introduction video, any accommodations that are requested cannot be retroactive. So if they register with us a week before finals, those accommodations are only good from that point forward through the end of the term and then in the future, but they don't get applied back. If you have questions when this happens or you're not sure how you can help the student at such a late date, please call us in the DRC. Faculty letters, again, are emailed to faculty of record, so please check your PDX email. We have some faculty who are using their personal email addresses only. That is a real problem because we can't send this information. It's too confidential to send to your personal email. And then the DRC is the only designated entity for receiving documentation and approving accommodations. And this really should bring you some peace of mind. You know, our office is here to help you. We're here with the expertise to be able to help make these decisions and to gather that information that is so confidential. So if a student brings you documentation, or if a student asks you for something that's not on their letter, or they haven't registered with us at all, we really need you to just pause and call our office and refer the student to us so that we can make sure that this is happening the way that it needs to happen. So this kind of recaps all of that. It's a guidepost for you, a mantra maybe. Treat a student with a disability exactly as you would treat anyone else, with exception only to the accommodations listed on the faculty letter. So again, you know, if the student asks you for something that's not there, then you know that you can't provide it unless you give it to everyone. For example, maybe a student asks for extended time on a test and you think, okay, maybe there are too many questions on this test, I can give extended time to everyone. That's fine to do. But if you're just doing it for one student who's requested it because of a disability, that would be an accommodation and needs to come through the DRC. So thanks so much for watching, and I encourage you to watch the other videos when you have time. Thanks so much.